to Sukuna, but still. I feel like Sukuna's not strong because of his conviction or anything. He just, like, was born strong. So, what was Sukuna... I know Sukuna was a human, but isn't Sukuna like the disaster curses to where he is, like, the malevolence of humanity or something? The three disaster curses are obvious. Isn't Mahito's, like, because humanity's fear itself or fears death? What was Mahito
Mahito,
born out
it's
of? The
like,
fear of death?
I mean, they kind of emphasize a few
Humanity.
things, but it's mainly the hatred between humans that birthed him.
Okay.
Now,
Sure.
Hanami
I'll take that as the fear of
says
humanity to go alongside the
that
fear idea.
death is a mirror and Mahito is that mirror, which was interesting in that regard. But Mahito tells Junpei that he's the curse born from the hatred between humans, the hatred / fear between humans.
See, I like the fear aspect because that's in line with the other three.
Yeah.
I don't think many people in society are hating the trees.
They just really hated those volcanoes, Oodie.
So it just works in line with them as their leader or whatever. Sukuna, I think, did they say, or is it a manga spoiler? Or I don't remember.
Well, Sukuna just was a human. You already know that.
I know that, but like, where his strength is derived from, because he's getting it from Jujutsu energy. Isn't Jujutsu energy also derived from feelings or whatever? Or is that just its own unique
I don't know.
power source,
like,
devoid of humans?
I mean, like,
okay.
No, we don't actually know exactly why Sukuna's this strong, even to this day.
Interesting.
Like, we don't have like a step-by-step process. It's just like he is. And he describes his path to like Jogo, which you can infer some things, but we don't have like anything super concrete for why he's so strong.
But then that should have been Sukuna's thing. Why did they give it to Mahito? Have Mahito's thing as people fear death. That makes sense why Mahito's strong, and that works for Mahito as a character, both in obvious character design and how he acts. When he kills things, he doesn't care. Oh, he's the mirror of death. Give the hatred aspect to Sukuna. That literally works perfect on both fronts. You're ruining both characters by just giving it to Mahito.
Would you have Sukuna be like an actual curse in that case, or would you just have him be a human and say that his hatred somehow links to his strength?
Yeah, because he's, again, I'm just gonna go with the idea that Jujutsu sorcery as a power system derives from human emotions in the first place. Regardless if it's in the series or not, it could be the case. So, I mean, it makes sense to me. Unless you're going to say it's like nature energy, but like why it's a little bit weird if that's the case.
It's weird because I like going off memory, and of course my Jujutsu memory is not the same as my freaking Naruto memory, but like,
yeah,
they explain, like, for example, the whole point is that non-sorcerers leak negative energy from their like emotions and whatnot, and that leads to curses and stuff. But then Gojo's over here telling Yuji like, yeah, no, you don't have to like get angry and shit. Like, you gotta do this and that. Just poof, snap your fingers. You're gonna use that energy. So it's like it is born from like negative emotions, but like as for how sorcerers just use it without seemingly needing negative emotions from there on, I don't understand.
And that's exactly what I was getting at earlier with the whole Itadori training thing. It seems like once you're just aware of it, you lose your ignorance and you're just able to control it perfectly, seamlessly, with full mastery. Then why don't they just tell humanity? Why keep it from them in the first place? There's not going to be any curses. If the whole problem is, oh, humanity's gonna freak out and worry, and then their negative fear is gonna make more. Well, no, because then they'll know about it. Isn't that the point? You
Yeah,
don't
they'll
do it
just
when you know that
control
inherently.
it.
Because again, this is what I was getting at earlier with the training. Like I was saying, Itadori is a human at the start of the series. He's not a sorcerer. This is what we're talking about with Kamkan. Itadori isn't skilled. He is a human. So when he trains to become a sorcerer, he should be, in essence, changing himself from a normal human into a sorcerer. The difference being that he's able to control his negative emotions instead of having them be just radiated out of him into cursed energy accumulant. He can like not manifest it, not fuse it, but control it, densify it in a way to where he can just there's a word for this. Almost like necromancy, but like control. I don't know, like telekinesis sees his power, something like that. You get the idea. Just where you can control it, yeah. And I think the best way to do that would, again, be like emotional training. Screw the stupid movie nonsense that's like a gag at best. Uniqueness at best, I guess. It's a gag. Have it be to where he is just constantly going through absolute turmoil so he can learn to control his emotions or whatever, his power. Works so much better. And again, because of this, this is the reason that you don't tell humanity. Even if they wanted to, maybe it takes a certain type of person to be a Jujutsu sorcerer. So even if they did want to learn to control it so there is no curses, maybe not everyone would be able to, and some people just break. Or, as it would be in real life, you would just have it to where not everyone would care. Because especially if it's hard to do, they have to go through an emotional turmoil sort of training. People aren't going to want to do that in the first place, regardless of the waste of energy and time it would take for what amounts to basically voluntary charity for the greater good, selflessness of humanity. I don't think every single person would be willing to do that. So, yeah. Kamui? Oh, right. Yeah. They should have had Sukuna just be the hatred of humanity. And that is his energy, which works as a power system based on how I think it should work. Because, okay,
Anger.
again, this is the thing. They aren't using sorcery. That's how they control their power. That's sorcery is essentially the same as molding or ninjutsu in this case. I think molding would be better in this case. The chakra, the power system, is cursed energy. So either that's just a naming coincidence, or the energy they use for their sorcery is cursed.
Sorcery.
Cursed energy. So where's the energy coming from to curse it? How is it being cursed?
Why the
Gotta come from
anger
somewhere.
humanity? Why the anger humanity? I did.
Yeah, I think it
Why the
works. Because
anger?
also another thing is the fact that the natural curses that we have now are the accumulation of cursed energy, right? And so that means that they are like the densest parts of it, implying it's spread out everywhere. So they should just be able to use it just as it is throughout the air or whatever. It just gravitates towards itself to make curses. But it is just everywhere, seemingly. Just not as dense. Not dense enough to make the curses. Yeah.
No, yeah, yeah. Showing a third that made the the feel of death should be like really strong or something.
Yeah. I mean,
And
hypothetically,
the-
if you could control the disaster curses, what would separate that from normal sorcery? You're still using cursed energy. They are cursed energy, accumulated cursed energy.
I mean, yeah, just look at Gato's curse spirit manipulation.
Like if you're sorcery, like if you're just ghetto, and you just can make Gojo do whatever you want, just take away his consciousness. You just control him like a remote control. Is that not just sorcery at that point?
Yeah, it would
If
be.
you have Gojo do a lava blast out of his head, is that not you doing it through Gojo? But at that point, it's not Gojo. It's Gojo's physical body, which at that point is the same as like a cursed object.
But I just think at that
Cursed
point, it would be
weapons they
like curse
use.
spirit manipulation, but it would be sorcerer
Basically,
manipulation.
what Sasori did with the human puppets.
Can you not hear me?
They literally don't have their sentience anymore. They're
Yeah, you can't hear
literally
me.
physically controlled by Sasori, an extension of Sasori himself.
Can you hear me now?
But yeah. Um,
You can't
Yuji
hear
is
me.
also weird
Space,
because a
can you hear
weird
me?
narrative flaw he has is that he tries to play hero but is too weak, causing problems. Which is funny
uh,
because he should be strong. But because in the world of Jujutsu sorcery, he's unskilled, he's not strong. Unlike someone like Gojo, who was displayed skilled specifically at Jujutsu sorcery from as a child at the very beginning. Which again is
mm,
funny because even with Jujutsu sorcery, I don't know. I can't say I think because I don't know. I don't know if Gojo could, even with Jujutsu sorcery, overpower Yuji from episode 1.
mm,
With with the addition of sorcery, could uh Gojo
mm.
amplify his body enough to be stronger than Itadori's brawn? I don't know.
Wait, what?
I mean, I'm not going to say Gojo's weak in the first place. Even without sorcery, he's pretty strong. But like as a kid, I don't think that necessarily would apply. And I don't think he's like very strong without sorcery either.
Mm.
Physically wise, anyways. I don't know. They do like an arm wrestling contest. I don't know. I would imagine Itadori would win, but I don't know. Anyways.
So here, I know I had you to tell me before, but why do you like Midoriya more than Yuji?
I think I substantiated that pretty clearly.
I mean, right now, I mean,
When I refuse to elaborate. Can't believe y'all let me actually get away with that. You just no, I can't hear Kamui.
oh,
Okay. Space, I'm guessing you can't hear him either?
yeah, I can. He probably
It's on
with a lot
your
of
end.
people.
Oh, I know why. Okay, unmute him. It's because he was sharing his screen. He no longer is. So you have to like reverse it to where you turn his user volume up because it was like the echo thing. Okay, Kamui, if you talk now, I'm sure I can hear you.
How's this
Mhm.
working?
Are they
Yeah,
better?
you're fine now.
Okay, that's why.
That's fine.
It was funny when half
Yeah.
the stuff. It was funny. I was saying something, and then you said it, and I was like, "Okay," and then you did it like 3 times. I was like, "Bro, you can't hear me." Like,
What were you saying? I mean, stream heard it, but I didn't.
no, the like for example with Gato, I mentioned I kept making the example with him. And then you just didn't say anything, and then a minute later you mentioned. I was like, "Bro, I've been saying that."
That's hilarious. It's ridiculous. I kind of want to go back and listen to that just to hear how goofy that sounds.
Probably does.
Yeah.
But yeah, like